Jump as soon as you hit grid. Last jump for the scouting party. Then we gotta scout the wormhole.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Welcome. Whoa. Let's go! Yeah! Hold. Hold. All right, here's the plan. We're going to try to burn out of this thing as fast as we can. Come on. Yes! Oh! We made it, everybody. We made it. Oh, shit. Let's go! Ha ha ha! Perfect. All right, and the DSC is on the way. We made it. Boojum. As soon as I hit grid, I'll let you know. You can work to me. Boojum. Boojum. Not and Boojum, but Boojum. That was fun. That was really fun. We're back. We're back, everybody. Oh, man. It has been, like, what? Like, over 2 weeks, something like that? We're finally back from FanFest. Jumping back into some EVE Online. Yes. Yes, we had to spend the entire morning going through all of our settings for our OBS and on EVE Online and everything, because in the 2 weeks that we were gone, apparently everything updated, and so it broke our entire stream. So that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, restarting our computer and trying to figure out what the problems were, and great times, great times. But I think we got everything pretty much ironed out, which is great. Jet lag actually was really not much of a problem. You know, when you don't ever sleep in Iceland, jet lag isn't much of a problem, it turns out. If you never go to sleep, you never have to worry about jet lag. And we did not do a lot of sleeping there. In fact, the day before coming back, we just stayed awake the entire night, which was probably not the healthiest of choices. So we are very, very tired. But we're back, and man, today all I really want to do is just talk about FanFest. Talk about the experience we had there as our first FanFest there. It was so amazing. I want to talk about all the stuff that we did there. See, we got our FanFest shirt proving that we were there. I want to talk about the Legion update a little bit and the kind of the keynote that they went through for Legion. We can talk about EVE Frontier. We can talk about Vanguard, all those kind of things. We're going to be doing some giveaways today. Obviously, we've got the new month of May, sort of new, I guess, new to me. Month of May giveaways that we can do for our skins from Caldari Prime that they made, the Meaty Miasma ones, which are so good looking. And so, yeah, so that's the plan for today. Just kind of hang out here, talk about FanFest, go through our initial thoughts, what we did there, all the people we met, the stuff that we did. And then we're just going to be hanging out here in this little wormhole. Maybe we'll kill some people. Maybe we won't. We jumped on to EVE Online last night just to make sure that everything in EVE was good to go. Turns out they weren't good to go. All of the settings for EVE had changed on my computer for some weird reason. I don't know why. There was an update, I guess. So I had to redo my entire overlay, get a new Evo preview installed, which is working a lot better. We had to remake our alliance, the Children of the Chain Alliance, because while we were at FanFest, I didn't know you could set up auto pay for your alliance taxes, and we got billed by Concord, and we didn't pay them, and so they closed our alliance. But turns out that you can just make the alliance again. You got to drop another billion ISK to remake it. But we did that, and now we got our auto pay all set up. So the Children of the Chain now will hopefully last forever. I mean, as long as, you know, you can continue to pay like the 6 million ISK or whatever it is. Got no alliance logo on there. That's one thing I haven't figured out yet, is how to update the alliance logo. I don't know how to do that. There doesn't seem to be any interface in the game that I can find to update the alliance logo, but we'll figure that out later at some point. I think you can do like a custom one too, which would be pretty sweet. So I need to figure that out at some point. Did all three and have them all get accepted? Nice. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I can. That'll be something that I'm looking forward to making, is a cool alliance logo for the Boojum and Children of the Chain and all that kind of stuff. So how are all of you guys doing? By the way, we do have a giveaway going on right now. Hashtag Legion in the chat. Hashtag Legion, and we'll get that giveaway started right here at the beginning of the stream, as we always do. Yeah, hashtag Legion. We'll talk about the Legion update in the future in a little bit. There's a lot of very interesting things that I want to talk about. Some of them are probably not what you're expecting me to want to talk about, like the new Marauder or the new Dread. Like those things are cool and all, but like those are like way beyond like what I'm really capable of doing in the game right now. And so I don't really have a lot of equity in those features. But there were a lot of updates to T3Cs that, depending on how the patch and the update actually ends up panning out, could be very interesting. So we're going to talk about those things too in a little bit. All right. Cool. So how have you guys all been doing? Caroline, one of the people who we were fortunate enough to meet out at FanFest. I think that's the thing I want to talk about first, is that out at FanFest, all of the keynotes, all of the, you know, the early looks at Frontier and Vanguard, and talking to all the CCP devs and everything, like that was all amazing. But the coolest part about FanFest was meeting all of the people that I know from in-game or have seen on streams. All of the CCP devs that I know from in-game, like meeting everybody. That was the best part about all of FanFest. Sitting in a keynote is cool, and those are all a lot of fun too. And we went to like as many keynotes as we possibly could. A lot of them we're going to have to watch on YouTube when they post them all there, and they're kind of rolling them out now. Because, you know, there's so many, you can't sit in all of them at the same time. They kind of overlap. But really it was like meeting everybody and getting to hang out with everybody. We went to the charity dinner when we were out there, and getting to sit and talk to everybody was so much fun. Yeah, the behind the scenes panel, that was really cool. If you guys didn't know, we gave a presentation while we were there as well, which was, I mean, I feel like so, I don't know, blessed and fortunate that we got invited to go and do a presentation on kind of like, you know, what it's like to be a new player in EVE Online. out at our first Fan Fest. So that was really cool. And the whole team there, too, was, like, so professional. They told me to just show up 15 minutes before my presentation. That was on Thursday. And I was like, man, 15 minutes is not a lot of time to, like, get ready. But showed up 15 minutes early, and then I got mic'd up really fast. Had a really quick walkthrough of where the slides are going to be presenting. They'd already done audio and sound checks and all that kind of stuff, which was super great. And so, man, it just went super smooth. Like, the audio was balanced. It was just seamless. Like, got mic'd up and then just, like, you know, started doing it. And there were so many people that were there, too. Like, the whole room was, like, packed, and there were people sitting in the aisles and on the stairs that were there. It was really, really cool. My presentation went a little bit long. You have like 45 minutes total time to give your presentation and then also answer questions. And I really wanted to leave like 5 or 10 minutes for questions. And at the end, I had 2 minutes left. There's like a little timer at the front of the stage that tells you, like, counts down to tell you like how much time you have left. I had 2 minutes left, so I was only able to take one question, but it was a really good question. And yes, Spinny, my video is not up there yet. They are starting to post them on the CCP EVE Online YouTube channel. And so eventually those are going to start rolling out. They're probably doing a little bit of updates, like editing, to make sure they're smooth, stuff like that. I tried to remove profanity from my vernacular as much as I possibly could. I think I said fuck one time. One of the tenets of what we do in EVE Online is, you know, FAFO, fuck around and find out. So I think I said that. But that's okay. I mean, during a lot of the CCP panels, they were dropping F-bombs left and right. It was great. So they didn't seem to have too much of a problem with that. And then the video ran, and it was pretty cool. So it was fun. Yeah, next year they are apparently collecting blood. Mic packing and PowerPoint uploads are a piece of auto PC cake comparatively. That's true. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that a little bit. I don't know if you guys have watched the final, like, closing ceremonies, if you will, or the closing keynote. But the CEO jumped up there, and it was one of the strangest things that I've ever seen. It's really cool to see the CEO be probably the biggest fan of EVE Online of any of the fans that were there. I mean, he's just so unbelievably excited about EVE Online and sort of the EVE Online like universe now that Frontier's there as well. They kept throwing out the idea of, you know, EVE Forever. And at first I was like, man, that's a pretty good marketing campaign. Like, yeah, EVE Forever, the game's been going for more than 20 years. Like, let's get another decade in. Like, that's great marketing. You got the little Infinity logo on there. And then at the last presentation, he's up there and he's talking about, you know, writing the stories of EVE Online in blood on sheepskin, to encase them forever in history and to spread these tomes across the world so that no matter what happens, be it AI takeover or nuclear war or catastrophe, sometime in the future, people will unearth these sheepskin blood EVE Online tomes. And man, that's going to be very confusing for people in the future. They're going to find these documents and be like, we know the world kind of ended. The apocalypse started in 2030. But we've got these weird documents, and they're talking about, like, extremely high-tech space travel and wormholes and these stargates and whatever New Eden is. Like, what happened back there? It's, like, ancient technology that they must have had before the apocalypse. It's going to be confusing for most people in the future. But, yeah, I was like, yeah, Hilmar's, like, he's just so excited. And I was like, oh, he really means EVE Forever. Like, he really means EVE Forever. Kind of explains all the backstory of kind of what they're trying to do with EVE Frontier, to make it a game that can just run on its own and really not require any input from CCP at all once the game is kind of up and running, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, the last keynote was pretty nuts. Oh, and then Hilmar's got his giant sword out. Pretty sure he just wanted to have some time to just go and chop melons with his sword. We actually ended up eating some of the melon that Hilmar hacked in half with his sword after the fact, which is kind of funny. One of the devs just tossed it to, I forget who it was. I think it was Chaos. I think they gave the melon to Chaos. So Chaos was walking around with a melon that we ended up going and eating for lunch after the fact. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Spinny. They do use profanity a bit more, especially fuck. That's like a sub tier, profane word. It's not like super high up on the surprising list, kind of like it is here. Yeah, the folks that find the docks will have mastered traversing wormholes. Maybe. Or maybe it'll be, recovering from an apocalypse is hard. You know what I mean? We could be sent back to the Stone Age. We're going to be trying to use these EVE Online techs to further our own technology. Maybe we'll just make New Eden in the future based on the text. Can you imagine? It becomes real life and not a video game. So yeah, that part was really cool. We showed up in Iceland and we spent a few days just kind of hanging out before FanFest started, which was really cool. We tried to go see the Northern Lights, but it was too cloudy, unfortunately. So we ended up driving way out of the city, an hour out of Reykjavik up to the north, where it would be a lot darker and get away from the sky glow, but it was too cloudy, so we didn't get to see the Northern Lights. So we're going to have to, unfortunately, I think we're going to have to go back to Iceland, because we have to see the Northern Lights. And then we went over to the Sky Lagoon, and we hung out there in the spa, which was really, really fun. I bought some salt and oil stuff from the spa to bring back, because it's got this really, really great fragrance. It smells like lemon pepper, which is pretty cool. And it was cool to hang out there in the spa for a bit. That was a nice thing to do after traveling for a long time, to get over there, just go and kind of relax in a spa. Then we did the tour of all of Western Iceland, the west coast. Went and saw some old volcanoes and went to some of the geothermal spots. We saw the biggest geothermal spot in Iceland that supplies a ton of geothermal hot water and energy to the entire country and the entire island, which is really cool. I didn't know that I think it's 90% or more than 90% of all of the energy in Iceland is from geothermal and hydroelectric power, which is crazy. And then we went to a museum, which is pretty cool, to talk about all of the sagas of Iceland and the history and the tradition, which I think really plays into Hilmar's desire for, setting up these tomes written in blood, because it's very Icelandic. It's very traditional in the sense of telling their stories. That's how those original stories of the Norse and Odin and Loki and all those things were originally encapsulated and entombed. So that was really cool. Went to another hot spring on that day with a whole bunch of other EVE Online players and streamers that were there. Switch Hit was there with us. He didn't recognize us. I knew it was Switch Hit because he said that he was Switch Hit. But that was one of the funny things that I noted, is that meeting all these streamers that I know and see from the other side of the stream, when you meet them in person, they're just different enough where you're like, I think that is that person. For me, for example, I am not a tall man. And everybody I talked to, they all said, we expected you to be a lot taller. Kaldari Prime made us a t-shirt that's got our face on it with the cool player card that they've been making, the wonderful, amazing artwork. And as soon as he saw me, he was like, oh no, I got you an XL t-shirt, and you are not as tall as I thought. You are not as big as I thought you were going to be. Yes, Rook. It'll be like Wormception. Exactly. All right, I've been rambling for a little while now. So tell you what, let's do this first giveaway. Hashtag Legion in the chat, guys. Hashtag Legion in the chat. And we'll get our first kind of giveaway going. We're hanging out in this little random C2, apparently. When I jumped on last night in this C2 to kind of just make sure all my settings were good to go for the stream today. It was crazy. I ended up getting 3 kills in a row. I'll show you the kill mails after we do our giveaway. But we got 3 kills in a row. We got a Praxis kill, which is awesome. We got a Avenger kill, and then we got a Heron kill in the span of like 10 minutes, something like that. It was like Bob was happy that we were back in J-Space. I feel like I've been welcomed back into New Eden here, and we were gifted with 3 amazing kills, and we actually were able to get the Heron Pod 2. So, man, it was actually a pretty fun night last night while we were just kind of chilling out here, getting all of our settings and everything set up. It was a little awkward to go and try to fight a Praxis with like half of our UI all over the place, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, Spinny, it was crazy, absolutely crazy. I mean, the Praxis kill was all like a 500 million-isk kill there, and we got a bunch of the blue loot from it too, and a couple of good modules. So that was pretty cool. Still doing the Nomad thing? Yes. As of right now, different. We're still doing the Nomad thing. And I'm still having a lot of fun with it. I think, though, we may go back to K-Space for a little while when the expansion drops. I mean, I basically have missed all of Capsuleer Days, unfortunately. I haven't really done any of the events for Capsuleer Days, which really sucks because I was pretty excited about that. So we kind of missed out on a lot of that. Nice. Cosm with the band. Let's go. So, we missed out on that a little bit, unfortunately. But I think based off of the way the patch is going to shake out, if it does shake out the way I think it might, the way they presented it, we may want to go back to K-Space and try to do some new fits for our Tengu. I might experiment with that a little bit today. We'll see. All right, but while you guys are going hashtag Legion in the chat, I'm going to scan down some of these signatures in here. Because I haven't done that yet. Let's look at some probes out here, and then we'll start to scanning a little bit, and that way we have a good idea as to what all is going on in here. And we can kind of chat a little bit about some of the other stuff we did. Let's see, where were we? We had made our story for FanFest. We had made it to Wednesday when we did our West Coast tour. Wednesday night, we had a cool little get-together with everybody to go and just, like, get some drinks and kind of hang out, which is pretty fun. Oh, no, wait. Wednesday night, I think, was it Wednesday night, the charity dinner? That might have been Thursday night. And one of those nights, we did the charity dinner, which is really cool. I was really happy that they were raising money for charity, too. And we got to hang out with a bunch of the CCP devs, which is awesome. That is one of the things that really surprised me the most about being out there, was that all of the devs were super, super friendly, willing to hang out and talk about everything in the game, open to suggestions and feedback. It was really cool. Like, during the charity dinner, we're just sitting there chatting about, I don't know, something random. And I mentioned a bug in the Tengu, where if you change your corp logo, but you had previously bought with Evermarks, the logo that goes on your ship, that it wouldn't update. And they, like, immediately had their notebooks out and were taking notes and going like, oh, like, that's not supposed to happen. Like, we can probably find a fix for that, which is pretty cool. Went on the pub crawl Friday. Yeah, that was Friday night, I believe. The pub crawl was really fun too. Wandering around all of Reykjavik with everybody, chatting about Eve, and then hanging out. Hilmar was dancing in the last stop, which is awesome to see. We were in like mid conversation with them, and they were like, "Hey, sorry, this is like my favorite song," and they had to go out to the dance floor, which was pretty funny. What is going on, Creamy? What is going on? Hashtag Legion in the chat for our first giveaway. Felt bad on the dev Q&A. A lot of the questions were, can you do this thing? Are there plans for this? That's true. That's true. I have all of my feedback for the devs was relatively simple. I will say, so we'll talk about feedback here for a little bit. We can kind of go through some of the suggestions that I made. They had an actual panel for the devs to provide feedback for UI. And, I mean, I think it was supposed to be mainly for UI, but people, of course, are going to bring up other stuff, which is kind of typical. But they also had a little, like, kind of like a booth over on the side in sort of the main area, where you could just go sit down and just talk with the UI developers, like, and give them suggestions specifically for UI stuff. And when I sat down with them at first, I said, hey, I've got some UI problems. I hang out in wormhole space a lot. I would really love if there was a more efficient way that I could make bookmarks. And I'll show you an example here when we get to this wormhole of exactly what I'm talking about. And after I gave them like some ideas and some feedback and kind of explained, you know, why it is that I would like to have a feature that helps us in JSpace, they said, hey, thank you for talking about UI. A lot of people come over here and they want to talk about gameplay mechanics and stuff like that. And I was like, oh yeah, I can totally see that. But what are the things that we suggested? We suggested an update to the bookmarking system. So being able to have 24-hour automatic expiration bookmarks would be very helpful for wormholes and a bunch of other things too, rather than just 2 days or 3. I think it's, what is it? Well, we'll see here. It's like 2 days, 3 hours, and never, I believe. And then we also suggested some updates to how D-scan works. You can see here, if I hold D-scan, I scroll in and out. The range goes by increments of 10 AU rather than 0.1 AU. So I suggested that you hold D-scan, and when you scroll in and out, it goes in increments of 0.1 AU, so you can refine this and just make it really smooth. And then you could, rather than having to, like, if you can see where my mouse is here, if I go to the range scale, I can scroll in and out in 0.1 increments. But this little bar is, like, kind of janky. It, like, jumps all around. So it can be kind of cumbersome. And the scroll rate is pretty slow. So made some suggestions there. One of the things I really hate is that when I'm using my hotkeys for align to or warp or jump, you have to hit the hotkey and then hit the thing that you want to jump or align or warp to. I really would love it if you could... Oh, Iceman's here. Hello, Iceman. What's going on? Welcome on YouTube. Welcome. One of the things I'd love to do is be able to have something selected, and then when I hit the warp thing, you just go immediately. The reason, I guess, that they don't have it that way initially, because it's very counterintuitive as a new player to have to hit the button first and then hit the thing you want to go to. It kind of defeats the point of having a hotkey, in my opinion. But the reason for that was like, well, if you were typing in a chat window and you accidentally didn't have your your cursor or whatever in that window, then you could accidentally jump or align or warp when it was unintentional. And I was like, I get it. It would be nice if it was an optional feature for me to have that. And the hotkey mitigates that easily. Like if I go Shift Control J or Shift Control 1, 2, 3, 4 to initiate warp, like the chances of me hitting Shift Control and 1 while I'm typing is like no. So that was one of the things we suggested. And there was a couple of other random things too. We talked a lot about what it's like being a new player, especially since we kind of still have that perspective. So at the charity dinner, we talked a lot on how can we do a better job of easing people into the game. And what I suggested was, rather than having a tutorial, because the tutorial is, in my opinion, you never want to have a tutorial. Ideally, your game is so intuitive and so well thought through that there's no requirement ever for a tutorial because it's all based off of kind of intuition. That's probably a bridge too far for EVE Online because the game is so well established. Could be something for EVE Frontier. So it's like the tutorial was adequate, but what would be nice is if you just continue working with the job givers, if you will, for each of the different air career program, and that just kind of eases people into the game a little bit more, especially for PvP. I think people really don't understand PvP much, and so rather than have a tutorial, I would say you have like sort of quote-unquote a starting storyline with all of your air career people and jobs and that kind of stuff, and you just keep it going. Just keep it going so people can feel comfortable coming into a game that is an open sandbox game when they've never done that in the past. And then you sort of like gently off-ramp them from this like story type driven stuff that also is teaching you in the background, and then kind of release them into the wild a little bit more seamlessly. But Q, what is going on? Oh yeah, Jay, the tutorial is leaps and bounds better than the past. I mean, any tutorial at this point is better than no tutorial, right? Dude, Spinny with the gifted subs. Let's go. Let's go. Zid picking one up, and Jury Shacker. Nice, nice. Let's go, Spinny. Thank you very much. That reminds me, I want to talk later on about some future plans that we have for the channel, and an event that I want to do, because there's a big event that I want to do later on. Let's see, is this? I bet this is a gas site. Once I finish scanning down all these things, we're going to do this giveaway. Not to worry. Not to worry. Taggy, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. It was the gas site. Yes, we got there. We're talking about just FanFest and thoughts about EVE Online and the expansion, all that kind of stuff today, Tiagi. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. We're back from FanFest now and trying to get our act together, getting back into everything. So I should probably focus on scanning the system down so that we can do this giveaway for you guys, because I like to do the giveaway early. And oops, let's get rid of this. C2. All the wormholes look like they rolled. They were all like super EOL last night when I was getting everything set up. Alrighty. Talking so much about all the stuff we did at FanFest. Yeah, me too, Tiagi. We've been so unbelievably busy with real life and with work and everything. Apparently, last year, they were doing a cool thing at FanFest where you could go and download like a stat sheet of a year, the last 365 days that you had been in EVE Online. And the stat sheet said that we had played for 282 hours in the year, which is crazy. And 25% of that was done in May alone, which is nuts. Oh! Lumen is here. What is going on? Welcome, welcome. The Slurm King himself. Welcome all of the denizens of the cave. Welcome, Tales of Lumen and all of our raiders. What is going on? You guys made it just in time. We're going to do two. We'll roll this giveaway twice. Hashtag Legion in the chat. Everybody, hashtag Legion in the chat for our kind of opening giveaway here. We'll roll that thing twice since we got a wonderful raid from Tales of Lumen. Hell yes. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Lumen, hopefully you guys had a great stream and had a lot of fun. Hashtag Legion. Peter, hashtag Legion. Welcome, Peace. Welcome, Scary D Spooky. What is going on? 07. Oh, man. We are just back from FanFest, and so we're talking about everything that we did there and how it went and everything. It was great. Yes, we were at we had a great time at FanFest. We had a great time. Fantastic. Good to hear. Good to hear. Love that. Yes, the game is so much fun. It just never ends. You know what I mean? You may be interested to hear, Lumen, that you made an appearance at FanFest in my presentation. Yep, you got a little cameo in my presentation video that we gave at the end of our presentation. I'll be showing it to everybody, to the video again later on. It's also posted on our YouTube channel if you guys want to check that out. It kind of needs the context of the presentation to make sense. We basically gave a presentation on like the new player experience for EVE Online. We told a bunch of stories of what we had done in our first year of playing the game. And then the video was a little like highlight reel of all of those stories, and yours was one of those highlights. It was really great. Thank you, Cosm. Thank you. Are we going to go next year, Q? Yes, we are. In fact, we bought our tickets for FanFest next year while we were at FanFest. As soon as they went on sale, we bought our tickets, and we're planning on going next year. There's a couple of big things we didn't get to do. We didn't get to see the Northern Lights this year, and we didn't get to eat any shark either. So we have to go back so we can see the Northern Lights and eat shark, right? I think that's just mandatory, basically. Yes, you're going, Q. Nice, nice. Yeah, the panels are really fun. Stay tuned on the CCP Eve channel, Lumen. They are the Eve YouTube channel. They are posting all of the panels there. They're probably, I'm imagining they took like kind of a week off after FanFest kind of ended to go and, recharge. They probably have to do some editing on all those videos as well. So I expect to see them start to roll out more and more. They didn't post all the videos yet, Bunny. You're right. They haven't posted all of them yet, but I think they'll get most of them out there eventually. Ray harassed us. Ray was awesome to hang out with. It was great meeting all of the other creators that are out there too. All of the other partners, all the different creators, like especially the third-party devs, the third-party tool devs. It was really cool meeting a lot of those people because you never really get to see them. They're not on YouTube, they're not on Twitch, they're not streaming. So that was really cool seeing a lot of them. What is going on with this cosmic signature? Scan down, you. I need a celestial nearby. What's going on? It's got to be like here, yeah? Okay, we'll just go 8 AU and see what happens. This is a weird one. Not sure what's going on with that one. Oh! But it was really fun. It was really fun meeting everybody. Getting to hang out and chat. Talk about creating content, but also talk about, just EVE Online in general. There we go. It's taking us forever to scan this system down since we're chatting so much. I blame all of you guys. So then on Thursday, we gave our little presentation, which went really well, I think. It was really fun. It went a little longer than I wanted it to, but was still super, super fun. And then on Friday, everything really kind of like picked up. We do have 4 accounts, Scary. Yeah, we do. We're actually probably going to have a 5th account here in the future. Talking to some other wormholers at FanFest, we are coming up with a game plan on how I can kind of expand my little Nomad caravan a little bit more. And I think I've got a good plan now on how I can use a 5th account to really kind of fill in some of the gaps that I have in my team, which would be pretty sweet. We'll probably do that in the future at some point. Let's see. Looks like I've already bookmarked this one from last night. It's that relic site. So yeah, Friday it like really kicked off wholesale. It was a little strange that they had like all of like some kind of like minor panels and events, like me, for example, on Thursday, and then like the opening ceremonies was on Friday. But I think that's just so that people can not have to take off work on Thursday, and can be there for the kind of big events when they start on Friday. But then Friday was really cool. Went and did the bar crawl with everybody, which was great. And then Saturday was just continuation of all that, going and hanging out in panels, checking out a bunch of other streams. I'm sure you saw, like Amiomiya had a really good stream going pretty much the entire time. I've decided that next year we're going to stream as well. So I'm going to start to get a little like on-the-road streaming kit set up. Now, Amiomiya basically just was live streaming everything all the time. I think what I'm going to do is next year when we go, I'm going to like send out a schedule of times that I'll be live, kind of in between panels and events and things like that. And then what I'd love to do is just do interviews with people, just, you know, players, content creators, devs, that kind of stuff that is less formal than CCP's live stream or than what Amiomiya was doing. And then, you know, we'll stream for like a half hour, an hour, or whatever, kind of in between the panels, do some interviews with a whole bunch of people, and then eventually end the stream so we can go to some panels and have fun doing all those things, and then go and hang out. I think that'll be pretty fun. Probably, you know, join forces with a couple of other streamers that are out there to make that happen. So it won't just be me. We'll have a couple of other people too. Which should be pretty... I think that'd be pretty fun. I think that'd be pretty fun. Pretty cool. Okay. We did it. We scanned down the entire system, everybody. So, hashtag Legion in the chat. Hashtag Legion in the chat. And then we're going to... we'll do this giveaway. Lunicus is here. Huge shout out to Lunicus, one of my mods. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, it was kind of fun, like, popping into random people's streams and saying hello, waving at people in the background, sitting and chatting every now and then with people. So if you guys watch Amiomiya's stream or the CCP stream, you may see me in the background wandering around every now and then. I'm the short Boojum, not the tall Boojum. Oh man, everybody was so surprised at how short we are. We are a robust 5'6" tall. Everyone thought that I was like 6 feet tall for some reason. Probably because I got the camera angled down at me. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool. We're going to talk a lot more about all the other stuff that we were doing too. And I really want to talk about the Legion upcoming expansion. At least 7 feet. Yeah, at least 7 feet, right? Oh, man. Okay. I think we got everybody in the giveaway here. Yes. We got 20 people ready to rock and roll here. We're going to roll this thing twice. Once for all of our longtime friends in the channel here and people who showed up early. And we're going to roll it again for Tales of Lumen and the wonderful raid that we have going on here right now. So here we go. Ogomu with the first win. Let's go. Let's go. Well done. Ogomu, if you're here, let me know what your in-game name is. ! IGN. And we should have some new skins for you here. Ah, yes. Bokral. That's right. Okay, let's see. Hopefully. Ah, yes. The Praxis Media Miasma skin. Let's take a look at this really quick. Look at this guy. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about the kills that we got last night. We got ourselves a fresh Praxis kill last night while we were setting up for the stream for today, which is pretty fun. Unfortunately, I didn't record it because OBS problems. But there it is, the Media Miasma skin. Let's go ahead and send this your way. Close the current tab, please. All right. Create the contract. Bokral. Perfect, perfect. There you go. On its way. All right, let's roll this thing again. Here we go. Next winner. Caviar Liberta with the win. Congratulations. Scary, I like skin. Oh, man. All right, let's send this one your way, too. Caviar Liberta. Nice. Nice. So yeah, if any of you guys tried to join the Children of the Chain Alliance while we were gone at FanFest, you probably saw that the Alliance had been closed because we forgot to pay our taxes while we were at FanFest, and I didn't know you could set it up on autopay. But it's back. The Alliance is back up. Same ticker, awake. Just like we had. Everything's exactly the same. We just had to drop another billion ISK to get going again. And now we're on autopay. So if any of you guys want to join the Children of the Chain Alliance, you are now more than welcome to jump on in again, and hopefully it'll be going for a good amount of time. Morty is here. What's going on, Morty? Yes, great to be back. Great to be back. Man, I've been going down the list of all of the people that we saw at FanFest. It was so amazing to see everybody and get some pictures with the Haven team as well, which is cool. Does the Alliance have a cool logo? Not yet, Scary. Not yet. I gotta make the logo, and I have to figure out the process. I have no idea how to make a logo for an Alliance, so I need to do that. And then figure out the whole process to get it approved and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully we'll have a cool Alliance logo in the future. Something that is very, Bob-oriented, wormhole-oriented. Got a few photos to send us. Nice. Yes, yes. People have lost Sov doing that? Oh, I bet. Yeah. That would be... Oh, God, how awful would that be? To completely lose everything. Piano Man. This is the process. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Go ahead and open that up for us for later. Perfect. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So, let's go ahead and just get some bookmarks going. I can show you what I was talking about with my bookmark suggestion for CCP. So when you're in wormhole space, you're making tons and tons and tons of bookmarks, especially for wormholes, right? Makes sense. So the process as it currently stands, in my understanding of the game, which maybe I've missed something, and if you guys know something I don't, please let me know, because I'm finding things out all the time about the UI in this game. The current process is click on wormhole. Like this is a C2, for example, right? And then I right-click on the wormhole, click on save location, label the wormhole, in this case C2 NDS. Make sure that it's got the right folder. It'll expire in 2 days, which is an insane time, by the way. We really need a 24-hour expiration time here. That'd be nice, so we don't have bookmarks that are taking forever, an extra additional day to expire. We need a one-day one. Anyway, and then I click submit. And now I have a wormhole. What I asked them is is there a way we can create UI so that I can hold a button on the keyboard? For example, when I hold T on the keyboard and then click on this, the show info tab just pops up. What I'd like to have is a way I can hold a button on the keyboard, click on the wormhole, and it does this for me where it pops up, and then I could also have auto labeling so that I don't necessarily have to adjust the label. I can just have it automatically label stuff in a format of my choosing. I also suggested if you really want to make it super Gucci, you can hold your button on the keyboard and then click that thing, and it will automatically make a bookmark with your labeling criteria without you having to hit submit. It just makes it, it's there, and then later on, you can go back and you can edit those bookmarks and put them into the exact folder and everything you want, but just having a repository to very quickly make bookmarks was one of the things that I asked the devs to do at the little UI corner, which is pretty cool. Joe Lost is here. Good evening, Joe. Good evening. How are you? We were just talking. We're spending the whole stream today just talking about FanFest. Huge shout out to Morty and Caroline and Joe and all the other streamers that were here or weren't at FanFest. Either way, Joe, amazing wormhole capsuleer as are we. It was great seeing Joe there. Joe, another one of the individuals who was surprised at how short we are. Yes, it was so much fun meeting everybody. So much fun meeting everybody there. All right, we've got some more wormholes I need to go and bookmark here. Also bookmark these gas sites here. And this relic site in case somebody else rolls in. I should probably get some perch points set up for it. I get lazy sometimes and I don't worry about perch points. This C2 site's gone. We'll get rid of that guy. Let's go check out this guy. Yeah, it was so much fun, right? So much fun. Yes, that's right. That's right. Oh, man. Unfortunately, FanFest went by too fast. It was tons and tons of activities and fun and hanging out with everybody. There was just no time for sleeping. And then, jumping back here and jumping straight back into work. I already need another vacation. Yeah, I even need an immediate vacation. A vacation from FanFest. Speaking of, what I'm planning on doing, I really feel like we missed out in oh yeah, absolutely, of course. I feel like I missed out on an opportunity to celebrate our character's birthday. If you can see here, we became Immortal Capsuleers on April 18th of last year. So that day has come and gone, unfortunately. So what I would like to do in the future, maybe next month, I think, probably next month, is we're going to do a 24-hour stream to raise money for charity, as well as do a subathon, because I really want to get my mod Lunicus a lifetime tier 3 sub. So we're going to do 24 hours of raising money for charity and a subathon. The way I thought I'd do that is anybody who subs to the channel, I will donate money to the charity. Like for one sub, we get, $5 or $10 of money donated there, which would be pretty sweet. It's already been a year. It's only been a year. Which is crazy. So anyway, so that's the kind of plan. There'll be more details rolling out on our Discord channel, and we'll talk about it more on future streams. So kind of like what we're gonna do for our subathon and charity's 24-hour birthday bash, the Boojum birthday bash, something like that. So that'd be pretty fun. Imagine doing that, making bookmarks in Warp without having to click submit. Yes, that would be nice, Caviar. That's exactly kind of the thing that I would like. I really would love some bookmark UI love. You know what I mean? If they came out with a patch that was just focused on little things, which is kind of one of the things they want to do, and bookmarking was one of those, you could almost call it a wormhole patch because we use bookmarks so much. Yeah, Joe, 24 hours is rough. It is absolutely brutal, but you guys are worth it, and we can do it. We've done it. We did one last year for charity, which was super successful. It was really awesome. So that'd be great. Love bookmark for ESI access. Yes, that would be cool. That would be cool, Typho. How much fun was FanFest, Typho? I mean, absolutely a blast, right? Yeah, I agree, Joe. I think we're doing a little bit of love in wormhole space as well. It's funny. I get two opinions when I talk to other wormholers. Some people are like, man, I'd really love updates to wormhole stuff and wormhole content. Other wormholes are like, I don't want them to go near wormholes. Don't touch it. Wormholes are the best kept secret in the entire game, and I don't want people knowing how good wormholes are. And I said, I think we want everybody to know how good wormholes are because then we get more content. And by more content, I do mean more PvP. Guys, also, I've got a huge announcement. A huge announcement. So Caroline, if you guys don't know, has been raising money for a new wheelchair for her. And while we were at FanFest, they met their goal. They've raised enough plus a little bit more for the wheelchair, which is spectacular. And so make sure you check out Caroline's channel. We'll give you a shout out for Caroline there. Let's see. Huge shout out to Caroline and their channel. Because they've made enough to get a brand new wheelchair, which is going to be huge. It's going to allow them to be so much more mobile. Hopefully, we'll see them at I think Amsterdam, the Eve Fest in Amsterdam, which would be pretty great. So please go check out their channel. They're going to be doing a big announcement. They've already got a couple of announcements on their Discord and on her channel, and they'll be doing a big event for that. So definitely go and check out that. Eve Amsterdam and Eve London. Yes, exactly. So Caroline is an amazing inspiration in the Eve community. So make sure you tune in for that. Let me try and work my... Cosm, can you help me? Would you be able to give a shout out to Caroline IS channel for me? Because I'm all elbows right now trying to type in chat. I probably won't be at that one, Joe. We probably won't make that one. But we should be. Right now, the plan will be to hit up Eve next year in Reykjavik again, which should be great. Celebration event is this Friday. Thank you, Caroline. This Friday, 12 o'clock Eve time. I unfortunately won't be able to make it there because I'm going to be traveling. But I'll probably try and tune in. I'm definitely going to be watching the VOD. So that'll be pretty spectacular. Thank you, Cosm, for doing that for me. Hell yes. It was so great. So great. Let's see. What was I doing? We got distracted here. Distracted by something. Yeah, already bought FanFest tickets for 26. Yep, exactly. Let's see. We got another C2 here. So let's go through the cumbersome keyboard and mouse of this. NLA. Change that to a wormhole. Nailed it. All right, which ones have we not got? We haven't got this guy. Let's warp to you and see what's going on there. Okay. What else? What else? Man, so last night we were, like I said earlier, we were kind of setting up for today's stream, and we ended up getting 3 kills in a row, which is crazy. So the first one that we got was this Praxis. It was really strange. I'm pretty sure that they saw us on D-Scan at some point. They were ratting at a one of the combat sites in here in this C2, which is a Praxis in a C2 is like crazy overkill. So we kind of just like warped over there and saw what they were up to. Checked out their fit a little bit. Didn't run a full background check on them, but it seemed like it was relatively safe. And before we pounced on this Praxis, there was another Venture that was in the wormhole. And they seemed to be just kind of hanging out at a gas site, which is kind of interesting. Now, I hadn't scanned down any of the signatures in the wormhole. I really had just logged into a bunch of UI stuff. And so I saw this Praxis kind of hanging out over here. And there was a wreck that was kind of right near them, so I bookmarked it. Warped off, warped back, and then tackled the Praxis and started fighting. I actually ran out of my rage missiles halfway through the battle. I had to swap to the light missiles, or the whatever the ranged ones are, and finish the kill. But look at this. It ended up being like a 500 million ISK kill, which is pretty sweet. We got a bunch of blue loot as well, as you can see here, which was nice, and a couple of modules. Got the damage control 2, the Dreggarista's shield boost and shield amplifier, which is a nice little pickup. So that was crazy. Then, yeah, the precision missiles. Thank you, Joe. So then we warped off after the Praxis kill, which, I mean, there's a Tengu and a Praxis on D-Scan, and then the Praxis disappeared and a pod shows up. Like, we can kind of put the pieces together here. But the Venture is still just there, just chilling. So I combat probed the Venture down in one hit, warped to the Venture, landed at 0 on them. They were chilling in a gas cloud. I thought they were bait. I was like, this has to be bait. So I'm waiting for other people to show up and waiting to be tackled. Never happens. Kill the Venture. Pod warps off and leaves the wormhole. Never to be seen again. So this kill happened at 0550. The Venture kill happened at 0602, so 12 minutes later. And then after the Venture was dead, I recloaked up, and immediately a Heron shows up, and they're sitting at the sun, just chilling at the sun. So I warped to the Heron. I was like, I don't know, 40 or 50 clicks away, warped to another Celestial and back, and it was like 10 clicks away. Tackled and killed this dude, 9 minutes. So that was 7 minutes after the Venture kill died. And so we got like 3 kills in a row. It was crazy. Really bizarre. They had a ton of stuff on them too. It was really strange to just see them sitting at at 0 on the sun, scanning stuff down. I mean, a blueprint in here and some other random stuff. It was kind of, I was like, my Tengu was like full of loot. I couldn't even take most of this stuff because we had maxed out all of our inventory space. It was kind of cool. I felt like I was being welcomed back by Bob into J-Space. It was like, yes, welcome back, Boojum. And thus, the chain giveth. You know, it felt really good. It made me, it felt like it's kind of FanFest, and that has just like reinvigorated my love of this game. I'm so excited, so excited. Already looking for discount tours in 2026. Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm excited to see what all the other events are at FanFest next year. Hopefully we can get a good little like streaming setup while we're there. So we can stream a bunch of stuff at FanFest next year, which would be really cool. Dude, another C2 wormhole, huh? Interesting. A little guy, too. Let's see. This is UAT. Submit that guy. Your name was on local? Oh, I haven't even been paying attention, Typho. I always, anytime I see you in the chat, I also know you're in the wormhole, which is amazing. So funny that CCP was concerned that your account was compromised, or that you like they were like, why do you have so many accounts? Let's see, we'll bookmark those guys. What else? I think there's another wormhole out here somewhere. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Last guy. Let's go warp to this dude. One of these leads to high sec. Or, no, I think it's actually a low sec static in here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's a low sec static, I think. It's got to be this other one here. Yeah, but now this wormhole's like all quiet. All nice and quiet. Some reactions of the devs were amazing. Yes, yes. I mean, I feel like anybody should be absolutely amazing. Like, that is an amazing feat of strength. The Heron alpha account with no cloak. It could have been. I mean, let's take a look. Borg Unit 88. They've been around for a long time. Since 2020. Actually, no, hold on. Up. Maybe they were brand new. Maybe that's what it was. I think I sent them an in-game mail and was like, or not in-game mail, in-game message like, hey, good fight. And ISK. I sent ISK to the Heron and some ISK to the Venture, I believe, last night to cover the cost of their ship. I mean, super cheap. Most of the kill mail is the loot that they had. They were on a pretty good run. I don't know where they came from. If they came from low sec, maybe. All the wormholes were EOL last night. It was kind of weird. That was strange about it too. But let's see. What was their birthday? They must be a new account. 1 day, 7 days. Yeah, they probably were a new alpha account. That little Heron. They got a decent little fit here. Relic Analyzer, Data Analyzer, Range, Core Probe, Sister's Core Scanner, 5 meganewton. Need to get them a Metamorphosis. That'd be perfect for them to go fly around in. Some filaments, which was kind of interesting. These Cry Svarog filaments. I don't know what these things are. I haven't seen these before. I assume there's something to do with Capsuleer Days, with the event that's going on. But I could be wrong. It's been a while. Anyway, they had some good loot. They were doing okay. Their character looks really cool. Love the way their character looks. They got some cool face tattoos, very like cyberpunk looking, you know what I mean? Yeah, and they got the white eyes like my character does. Parchment filaments. They're parchment filaments. Interesting. Amiomiya is here. What's going on, Amiomiya? Shout out to Amiomiya as well. We've got the whole team. The whole FanFest team is here. Oh, man. It's great seeing everybody. It sucks that we had to get on so late because it took us so long to get all of our computer updated. Ooh, there's a C3 here. Nice. Might go check that out later. Need to get to a C3 SIB. Amiomiya, one of the people who had their stream live like the entire time, which is spectacular. which is absolutely great. We were able to check in every now and then and say hello to everybody out there that wasn't at FanFest on their stream, which is really fun. So yeah, Amiomia, we're just talking about FanFest and all the stuff that we did and how much fun we had. It was how great it was to meet everybody. Yes, we have the official shirt. That's right, proving that we were there. So look at this one and the one that Kaldari Pime Pony Club gave to us, which is really great. I think maybe during the break here, which we're going to take in a minute, maybe I'll go grab that shirt so I can show you guys the shirt that CPPC made for us, which is really cool. Let's see. Let's get some people set up here. Do I not? I must be missing a wormhole. XJA, SIB, UAT, NLA, NDS. No, that's all of them. How is there not a K-space static in this C2? That's interesting. Maybe there's no K-space hole here. No K-space static? That'd be crazy. Could be. Let's see. Let's go to a C2 here with you, and then for you, we'll go to... Where did I go? NDS. We'll go to NLA here, I guess. And we'll just get a little bit of orbits going on here before our break. Yeah, Morty's also here. That's right. That's right. Man, it was so cool seeing her. We saw Chaos there. We saw Loru there. We saw Morty, Amiomia, Switch Hit, Joe. I mean, there were so many, not just streamers, but other content creators there too. It was just spectacular. So cool to meet people that you've only ever seen on their streams. You know what I mean? Okay, guys. It was a list. Yeah, dude, I hope 2026 is even more. I really hope so. And now that I've been to one FanFest, I feel like next time is going to be even more fun because now I have a good expectation. Like this time, like I really didn't know what to expect. So like I made a bunch of stickers for people that I brought, just as like a little swag with some Boojum stuff on there. Next time I'm going to bring a whole bunch more stuff. Like I really wish I had like business cards that I could have handed out to people for the channel, for Twitch and YouTube and stuff. So we're gonna bring a whole bunch more swag that we can just give out to people, give gifts to people and stuff like that next time. I think we're gonna stream a bit next time as well. And then now that I know how the panels work, I can really choose the ones that I want to go to and where to find the devs, where to go hang out. It'll be really great, man. Like Harper Hall was so cool seeing Harper Hall. Like what a great setup they had. It was absolutely just eye-watering to see all of Harper Hall. It looks like a spaceship. It's like you're inside of a spaceship. I mean, the architecture in Iceland, I can tell is like highly influential in the game design. Like EVE Frontier and EVE Online, I can see that they're taking inspiration from the Icelandic culture and the architecture that's already all there, which is really cool. The category seems to be growing. It does. Yes, Joe. It absolutely does seem to be growing. I have noticed that. Like, more and more people are playing EVE Online or watching EVE Online, it seems. It's kind of crazy, which is a really good thing. Before, I mean, it was like a couple of people. A year ago when I started, it was a couple of people. But now it's just like tons of people. It's great. Twitch is finally figuring it out. Have I seen the CCP Harpa video? I have not. Today they're launching Harpa into space. Oh, cool. Yeah, they had a big Sino projected on the side of Harpa. It was great. So cool. Man, we've got so much more to talk about too. Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly, Joe. Exactly. And the great thing about EVE Online too on Twitch is it is like for me, it was a huge springboard into Twitch and a big jumping off point, and the EVE Online Twitch community just makes that happen. Like they take people who are either new to streaming or new to the game or both and just launch them into like another level that is like so successful. It's really, really eye-watering. It's really heartwarming. Right on. Right on, right on. Heading off, Rycio. Have a good night. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for stopping by in our wormhole as well as in the stream. It's great seeing you at FanFest. That was spectacular. Guys, we're gonna take a short break here. So before we do that, let's go ahead and get another giveaway set up here. And for this one, let's do hashtag fan in the chat, everybody, since we're talking about FanFest. Hashtag fan in the chat. We're gonna take a short break here. I need to get some more water or something to drink because my throat is so parched because I'm talking so much. And then when we get back, we'll do a giveaway, and we'll keep on talking about FanFest, and we'll talk about Legion some more. I really want to talk about Legion and the changes that are coming down the pipe for that, especially with T3Cs, and how those might end up panning out. So, we'll see you guys soon. I've been wanting to play EVE online for a very long time. Ever since it came out, really. But I've always been afraid that if I were to jump into EVE, I may never get out again. We're just going to try it. We're going to dip our toe in to EVE and New Eden. We're not going to go... Hopefully we're not going to go crazy. We're going to try not to go crazy. So tonight's stream will be just a few hours, I think. Is this the gate itself? No, this is literally just a research complex. Oh. Oh, this game is awesome. We did it. We made it. We made it, guys.
Good shit, boys.
I got that kill. Oh,
wow.
Nice.
A lot of missiles,
Ooh.
a couple sirens.
Hope you guys got that one on film.
Drone. It looks like maybe we switched to Hornets. Drones are out. Drones are back out. We thought he was Fang, but no. There are 2 Hornets on the field now. This could be it. Oh! No way! Congratulations, Capsuleers. Congratulations. That was amazing.
Get that Oracle locked up.
It's time. It's time for us to stop accepting mediocrity. We're going to be finding a new home. Undocking from Jita, leaving it behind forever. Hold! 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 Come on! That was fun. That was really fun. We made it, everybody. We made it. Oh my god. Out of nowhere, Lerm, with no warning with the attack. How dare you, sir? How dare you? I wish there was a way I could drag all of these up to the very top at the same time. That'd be super tight, wouldn't it? Amazing. Amazing. It's 2024, everybody. We did it. 2024. Yes. It today just keeps getting better. Anyway, that's how it goes in J Space when you're hunting. That's how it goes. The hunter and the hunted. And right when you think you're the hunter, suddenly you're the hunted again. Yeah! Let's go! We fucking did it! We fucking did it! Yes!
You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. Legends. Absolute legends. $2,563.27 we raised tonight. That's so amazing. In one night. Oh, sends everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Remember, fly dangerous out there.
All right. We are back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Hashtag fan in the chat. Hashtag fan in the chat for our next giveaway here. So we're hanging out in this little C2 here. It looks like a new cosmic signature has just popped up here. So we're going to scan that down real fast. Yes, of course, Morty. Happy Mother's Day to everybody as well. If you haven't given your mom a call, make sure that you do that today. Say hello, check in, see how everything's going. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Absolutely. Without mothers, where would we be in EVE Online, right? Nowhere, probably. Although, do Capsuleers have mothers? I don't know. Anyway. Welcome back, welcome back. Hashtag fan in the chat. Look at this. I wanted to show you guys the shirt that Caldari Prime made for us and gave to us out at FanFest. It's a little large. It's like a nightgown for me now. It's our night shirt. Got this gigantic Boojum face on it. Look at that. You can see the monocle is green, so you can see through it. Oh man, they're so talented. What an amazing artist. It's so cool. They had they were over in the like creators corner during the entire FanFest. Like you could go over there and watch Caldari Prime just making cool skins for ships and things like that. It was really cool to see. It was really cool to see. Great to meet Caldari Prime as well. I mean, that was the other thing, too, about meeting everybody at FanFest. Everybody, without fail, was just so kind. They were so welcoming. They were so kind, so willing to talk about other random stuff and just nerd out on things. It was really, really cool. And really counter to, like, the perception, I think, that EVE Online has for a lot of people. It was really, really neat to have everybody there and just hanging out and chatting. Okay, let's scan down this cosmic signature, and then we'll do another giveaway, huh? Yes, I think so. And keep on chatting about all the FanFest stuff, all the activities in the Legion, and what's going on right now in EVE Online, which I have like very little essay on what's happening in here. Let's see. Boop, uncloak, get these guys out here. And we'll cloak up, yes. Wunderschön. Sehr gut. Okay. Get this guy going. We'll see where this... I expect this to be a wormhole. It's probably a wormhole. Maybe we'll get some gas while we're hanging out. Actually be kind of productive. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? What if? What if? At least we're undocked, right? At least we're undocked. Okay, here we go. Just a larger dock. Yeah. I can get to a fit window from anywhere. I don't need to be docked up to have a fitting window open. Oh, it's not a wormhole. Interesting. A little relic site. Ooh. I should go get some relic loots. See if we can find another Book of Bob out there. Need to go and try and discover more teachings of Bob. Undocking is scary. Can't do it, right? A ruined Garista's temple site. Okay. Far out. Bring these guys back in. Okay. All right. Last call. Hashtag fan in the chat. Hashtag fan in the chat for this giveaway. Where do you want that Onyx fit? Oh, that's right. That's right. If you can send it to the Boojum, that would be perfect. I've actually started working on setting that up, but I need to figure out what skills to train to that. That is going to be, I think, having a 5th ship out here. I think maybe I was hoping that 4 was the perfect amount, but as I suspected, I think 5 ships is going to be the perfect amount for our little nomad fleet. JFs are granted these until these gate camps end. Oh, are there gate camps going on, Morty? Interesting. I didn't know there was gate camping happening. I mean, there's always gate camping happening, right? There's always gate camping. Oh, on your route? Aha. Have you tried Thera to avoid gate camps? See if you can go around the camps by going through Thera. Maybe an option. Or if you really want to roll the dice, you could try going through Pachvin. I recommend Thera. Okay, ready, guys? We're doing the giveaway. We're doing the giveaway. Here we go. We're rolling it. Jaywalks with the win. Nice. Nice. Yes. Oh, yes. Jack Oslo. Ooh, okay, okay. All right, let's send one of these Praxi your way. Jack Oslo. Is this a new character, Jaywalks? Off it goes. Male and fit scent. Yes, love that. Let's check it out. Yeah, we've got so much stuff we got to get back for. We got to do some more Anoikis Freeport project stuff too. I'm hoping that we can get some time in the future away from work to do that kind of stuff. So we'll see. Right now it's a little bit on standby, but now that we have the Alliance going again, and FanFest is over, we can start to work on those things a little bit too. Okay, the Onyx. The Shrink-a-Bob. Ooh, okay. Let's check this out. Oh. Rapid light missile launchers. The Warp Disruption Field Generator. Yes. Nice. Large shield extender. This is perfect. Double multi-specs, an MWD. Okay. Nice. Bunch of shield fluxes. Okay. Not cap stable in this with this character. Graviton, physics, and heavy interdiction cruisers. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a bit of training, I think. As soon as you have webs on grid with you. Ah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Which we definitely, well, in a C-13, we could bring the Astero in and web with the Astero. That's true. We could do that. We could always just throw a web on, though. I mean, this is doing... What kind of damage is this guy doing? It's a drone dude, right? Or maybe not. No, let's go with the Furies. 318 is pretty good. Okay, yes. 0-point mass entangler. Mobile depot. Core probe launcher. Makes sense. I love this. This all looks really, really well thought out. Yeah, switch a multi-spec for a web. Yep, yep. Yeah, definitely would cost a little bit of tank. But you can always overheat them. So this seems nice. I like this quite a lot. Yes. So we could use this outside of C-13s as well. Because, I mean, the goal that we have for the 5th ship, right, is twofold. One, we could rock and roll in some C-13 content. And then 2, we can better tackle things at wormholes or on grid anywhere, really, to give time for the Tengu to get there and then start to do real damage. Dread Garista multi-spec to open a mid-slot for web. Ah, yes. Okay. Yep. That would work. That would work. Just put a little bit more, put a little bit of bling on here, and then get a good web of fire on there. Yeah, that is a little expensive. It is a little expensive, but it would be so much fun. And I have really not got to do a lot in C-13s yet, so that'd be cool. Okay, so this is what we're gonna go with, I think, as of right now. I like this. I like this. I wonder if there are any... because I have to train into this ship on another account. But this would be nice to have, because then I can... Man, having a way... Like, having the disruption field generator and be able to, like, really make sure people can't get out of there would be really nice. Any warping or jump drive activation. Does that take ammo? Oh, yeah. 0 point mass entangler. That's a fit, right? I don't know if I've ever used this. What do I use for my, flycatcher? Can script it for a single target. Ah, that's right. That's right. Okay, okay. You still have to lock them, though, right? Oh, can scram or disrupt. Okay. The 0 point mass is for rolling. That's right. That's right. That's right. Because this is how... Because you use this... You can use the 0 point... Oops. Let's see, how exactly does a 0 point entangler work? Because I've never used one. Warp scramble strength 100. That's insane. Can be fitted to heavy interdiction cruisers. Yes. It was noticed that a reduction in the local effective mass of a ship can be achieved by dumping warp energy directly into the 0 point energy vacuum field. This warp energy mass entanglement effect was determined to severely reduce practical ship velocities and disable warping. Scientists consider this effect important, but unlikely to be of much use to anyone for practical purposes. However, engineers familiar with capsular exploration and colonization of Anoikis, or W space, soon pointed out a market opportunity and a modular version of the curious device community. So this effectively reduces your ship mass so that you can go through small wormholes, right? Yes, yes, exactly. Brilliant. Brilliant. Ha 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 ha. Having an Onyx in a C-13 would be surprising to people, to say the least, I think. That is brilliant. I love that. All right, this is the way. I think we're going to work on getting this ship learned up on our other character. I have to transfer them over to a different account. It's going to be our Boojum, the Boojum that we use for transporting all of our loot in and out of J-Space. We'll bring them into the team, and we'll train them up on these ships. So they're going to have a lot of learning to do, but eventually they'll be good to go. So put one on your Porp, right? You don't need to put one on the Porpoise. Porpoise is already small and can go through the smallest ship, or the smallest of wormholes. That's the best thing about the Porpoise, is that it's a small hull and it can do everything in J-Space, literally everything. Bringing the Porpoise into the C-13 with this guy, ooh, oh yeah, that's gonna be Now I'm excited. We're going to do some C-13 hunting in the future. That'll be really cool. Can you anchor structures in C-13s? I guess you could if you could bring them in there, right? Just getting them in there might be a little tricky. I haven't really done much in C-13s, to be quite frank. So that'll be cool to go see. All right, well, let's take a little bit of a... We're going to take a slight pause, I think, in talking about FanFest and how awesome it was. Why do I have Evermarks? Whatever. I want to go and explore this C3 here really quick. And then maybe we'll get some... Maybe we'll get some gas going. Just drop a mobile depot named I Licked It, It's Mine. Yeah, right? Alright, let's see what's inside here. Curious to see. Maybe we'll move the team into this C3 if it's a good one. C3's where it's at. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing I really need to do. I want to change my PvP fit back to the overprop fit. That was the other thing we were talking about a bunch. And we've been trying this fit out, the non-overpropped fit, for a little while, and I've decided that I much prefer flying the overprop Tengu to this non-overpropped one. Ooh, what do we got here? A Wolf Riot. Interesting. Wolf Riot effect, huh? Cool, 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 cool. Wormholes. Not a gigantic one. But still okay.
Drive active.
Got a safe point going. Seems like it's empty, but there's also no real combat signatures in here. Cloaked up, good to go. Scan this guy down real quick. Got a slightly newbies question. Is there any preferred use for the free skill points, such as the daily login ones or the weekly ones, or do people simply use them on any skill and every skill? There is no particular set of skills that you should or can use those on, Wolf. I would recommend, if you are a brand new player or it's a brand new account, and using that like the first million skill points. By the way, if you don't have the first million skill points, you can certainly use our code to do that. I believe it is, let's see, !code. Yep, there you go. That'll give you 1,000,000 free skill points. If you go to the EVE wiki, they have a list of what they call like the magic, I think it's the magic 13 now, skills that are like most valuable for every Capsuleer to train into, because you'll use them for almost everything. Once you kind of have those good to go, then specializing into other things is kind of the way to go. So I recommend using your first skill points on those ones, and then specializing in whatever the type of content you're doing. And based off of the type of content that you want to do, you know, if you're doing mining or exploration or PvP or PvE, whatever that is, then find a ship that lets you go do that content really well that you like, and then start to train into that ship to go and do better at that stuff. If Omega get into a T2 fit, T3D, max fun for PvE, that's true. The Tech 3 destroyers are crazy fun. That was one of the first ships that we trained into, was a Jackdaw. It was really cool. Let me see if I can find you a link really quick to the Magic 13. Magic 14, I should say. That's what it is. Here we go. So these are the ones that are like always super useful. Oh, you're an old player. Okay, well, never mind. Risa came back after like almost 11 years of not playing. Ooh, welcome back. Welcome back. Never fully understood our differences in training times between skills. Like some are 2x, some are 4x. Ah, okay. Let me show you that. I'll show you that. So, if we jump over to our skill training tree here, I'll show you an example. So let's go to our skill catalog, and we'll look at, let's see, Galente drone specialization here. And if you look at the skill information sheet, if you can see this, hopefully, it says primary attribute, memory, secondary attribute, perception. So to train this skill, if I have a high memory attribute, this skill will train faster. How do you know what your attributes are? Well, if you go to your character sheet, you can see what your attributes are. So my perception is 33, my memory is 31. So if I increase my memory attributes, that skill will train faster. The way to do that is to either use augmentations that increase your attributes, or use accelerators like the cerebral accelerator that I'm using right now here. This guy increases my attributes by 10 across the board for like 4 days. So to like learn skills faster, you want to increase your attributes for the skills that you're learning via one of those two means. That all kind of makes sense. But that's also true. What Rook is saying there is also true. Yeah, they're a larger volume of SP regardless. Yep. Yep. Match the attributes and implants to get high primary attribute to speed up training. But that's like very niche, right? Like for me, like I don't necessarily order the skills that I'm learning to match my attributes. What I do is I put all the skills that I want to learn in the order that I want to learn them, and then I'll just go boost my attributes as much as I can. So oftentimes what I'll do, I don't do it anymore because I'm out in J space roaming around, but what I would do previously is before I logged off for the day, I would use a jump clone that has a whole bunch of implants that increase my attributes a bunch. So that while I'm not playing the game, my attributes are as high as they can be. And then when I started playing again, I would jump clone out of that clone into my combat or whatever one that didn't have those expensive and valuable attribute boosting implants in them, and go out and roam around and have fun. And then when I logged off, right before I logged off, I'd jump clone again to make sure that they had the highest attributes possible. So that really gave a big boost in skill training time. The expertise of their mustache, yeah, right. Where'd my map go? I closed my map on accident. How do I open that again? Directional scanner. Solar system map. Nailed it. What was I doing? I'm scanning down a system. That's a great question, though. Absolutely great question. Favorite Civipol fact is that nobody knows how to fit it correctly. Oh, yes. I don't even know how to fly that thing. Let's see. I'm going to have to start training into the Magic 14 a bunch. What am I warping to? Whatever. For a new character here. To optimize them for C13 content. There's a lot going on in this wormhole. Look at all these star bases. Oh my god. I mean, it is a Wolf Riot, so it's kind of not surprising, I guess. But good lord. Everybody in here needs to calm down. Okay, let's scan this guy down. Good to go. I just fly everything like a Talawar, and it seems to work out. Ooh. Maybe? Yo. Kind of an empty C3. Not super stoked on it. Maybe there's some other connections, though, that are kind of neat. Scan that guy down. How many signatures are there? Not a lot of signatures. This won't take us too long. Relic site. How is the... Here's a question I have for all of you guys before we start talking about FanFest stuff again. How has the Capsuleer Days been going? Because we were gone for so long, we didn't really get to do much Capsuleer Day stuff. Has it been pretty fun? Has it been good? Has it been cool? I'm curious to see what you guys think. How rated is the Meku Ball under? I don't even know what that means. Got some boosts. Okay. Far out. Scan this guy. Need more social and mining boosters. Social boosters. Ooh. Less than enthusiastic about this year's mediocre drops, in my opinion, without being forced into group wormhole content. Group wormhole content would be pretty sweet. The, like, labyrinth things sounded kind of cool. The daily drops certainly seem like they're significantly less impactful than last year's. My first one last year. I seem to remember that I got a whole bunch of... I thought I got ships in the daily drops last year. Like, the Sisters of Eve ships in the just daily login rewards. But that was, I guess that was before they did a huge change to daily logins. It looks like those are only available right now if you do the event quests, where you can get an Apotheosis, and a Metamorphosis, and Synesis, Gnosis, Praxis, and that kind of jazz. So, honestly, this is probably a better way to do it, I think, because it seems like these ships are... They're very strong. Like, the Gnosis and the Praxis are really powerful ships. And it also seems like there's a ton of them out there. I wonder if CCP is maybe trying to control the economy a little bit on those and their availability this year. Kind of tone it back and reduce the influx into the market and availability that those have. But they're like the perfect new player ship. You know what I mean? Price is going up on them. Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. They're so new player friendly. That's what I love about them. They are quite strong. Quite strong. Like, we used a Gnosis for, like, the Winter Nexus event, which was pretty fun. Just to see if we could, and it was, like... I was expecting the Gnosis to kind of struggle a little bit in the Winter Nexus event, and it just, like... It was easy. Surprisingly easy. Having to actually do something to earn the ships instead of just logging in. Yeah, exactly. I think that maybe is a little bit... That feels a little bit better balanced to me. But... That's just, like, my opinion, man. Okay. Up. It feels good again to be just scanning stuff. Feels good to be scanning stuff. Suffering bonus department compared to other T1s. True. But that's the thing, is it's like they're great ships to just go and kind of throw away, you know what I mean, or experiment with. And try new things out, which is why I love them so much, because you can just go try new stuff. It can be a little bit problematic when you've got, like, 20 Gnosis in a single wormhole site. Like, there was one time I found a gas site, and there was just, like, Gnosi everywhere doing Gnosi things. As I think there was a null set connection, and a whole null set corp was just, like, hoovering down all the gas. It was nuts. Joe, heading off to bed. Have a great night. Huge shout out to Joe, another amazing streamer as well. Have a wonderful night, Joe. Thank you for checking in. Great to be back. It is great to be back. Feel like they're supposed to be cheaper compared because of that, at least. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. They definitely should be a little bit cheaper. And I don't know. Maybe it's misperception, but, like, Capsuleer Days was the very first event that we did, and I got the kind of vibe that it was sort of like a new player friendly event. Like, it was almost like it was designed for new players. And maybe that's just because it was my first event and I was a new player at the time. And that's not really the way it's supposed to be, but that was kind of the vibe I had. And in that regard, they're perfect ships for it. Really good ships for new players. I'll never forget the first Praxis that I lost. I learned how FW works in this game, and that if you sign up for FW, you are at risk, even in high sec, to lose your ship, which we did. Wonderfully so. That was. I should have put that in the little video in the talk. That would have been cool. Talk about losing my first Praxis. Man, I love that ship. It was so cool. Just so huge. Now we're killing Praxis. Now, how the tables have turned. Ooh. Central Blood Sparkling Transmitter. Okay. Well, there's not a lot going on in this wormhole. Let's go check this one out and just see what's up. And then I think we'll head back to the C2. And maybe consider getting some gas while we're there. At risk, since there's so many connections right now. But it's always fun. Once killed a Praxis that was buffer tanked on a gate in low sec, using a Nerus and gate guns as your DPS. Well done. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. C4. All right, let's head back to our little C2 that we were hanging out in. And consider our next move. Start talking about FanFest again, probably. Bonuses, turns out the guy was streaming and someone sent me the clip of it. Ah, yes. That's wonderful. I really like, if ever I get killed and I'm streaming, I always try to send whoever killed me clips from the stream or a link to the channel at the very least so they can drop by and see what it was like from my perspective. I think that's always kind of a fun thing to do. Okay, what the hell am I doing here? Let's just orbit this guy here. And we'll just watch this C3 site here. And then let's take An Boojum, and there should be some gas sites. We've got a couple of minor perimeter reservoirs and a sizable. I think the minor is probably the one that we want to go to. We're going to hoover down some gas. How much? I've got some Fullerite C60 in here. Let's go check out this guy. See if there are any rats here. There might be some rats here. And then as we continue to talk about FanFest stuff, I'm going to actually have to pay attention a little bit here. No rats. Some C70 and C72. Let's see. I think the C70 is the most valuable one. I think. Let's double check. It's been a hot minute. There we go. Ba, 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 ba. The minor C70. It's a C70. Okay, yeah. As I suspected. Cool, cool, cool. Activator. What's going on? Welcome, welcome. All right, once we get nice and close here, we'll target this guy down. And then we will begin to the hoovering. Get both of those going. And let's orbit you at current. And then we'll see if we can't... We'll probably break lock here as we get our orbit going. We should be good to go. And we'll chat a little bit more about some FanFest stuff. As well as Legion, too. I want to talk about that. I want to do some theory crafting for our Tengu. We'll see what actually happens when the update drops. I expect that there will be changes from what we were briefed at FanFest, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll set up a little perch here. Where's my Tengu? Let's see, am I at FUL? Which one did we warp to? I think I'm at FUL. It's hard to say. Let's just set up a little... We can do this. We'll do it this way. And Boojum, we Boojum. Get the fleet going. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's go to An Boojum. Throw this into sights. Do-do-do-do-do. It's right in the middle. Perfect. Okay, we'll just get a really easy perch going here. Nothing special. We'll just drop a bookmark once we're getting a little bit closer. And then that should give us something at least in case somebody tries to mess around with us a little bit. Okay, let's see how that was.
Drive active.
Whoop. How far out are we? 300 clicks? Perfect. Perfecto. Okay, now we can hang out here nice and cloaked and just keep an eye on our little prospect for us. Cool, cool, cool. We're nailing it. Resist changes might make some of the B-Lop T3 fits insanely impossible to kill. Yeah, so let's talk about the briefing from the Legion keynote. So obviously we've got the new Marauder and the new Dread. Those are super exciting. The Marauder looks like something that maybe I could consider training into at some point. Like, we've started flying some of the Trig ships a little bit, and they're really, really fun. I think the Marauder is going to potentially completely change the face of wormhole space in combat. It's certainly going to be, like, I think it's going to be, like, the ship for repping structures. I mean, you're going to have Leshaks and Marauder. Like, all that stuff is going to be crazy. You know what I mean? So that'll be pretty cool. What I'm most excited about from the Legion drop, well, the thing I'm most excited about from the Legion drop is going to be the job thing, the freelancer jobs. I want to make a Boojum campaign, like a story-driven, role-playing-driven Boojum campaign, where I just have a whole series of missions. And I can bring new players into the game and send them on missions that eventually lead them into wormhole space and do, like, wormhole space stuff. So I'm really hoping that there's enough tool sets in there to be able to allow me to do that and like make like almost like a story-driven campaign for people, which I think would be really fun. I don't know if the first iteration is going to have what I want to be able to do that, but I thought that would be really cool. Almost be like one of the other streamers that was there. Actually, I think it was the CEO of Kitchen Sinkhole maybe. Was like you could almost be like a dungeon master in EVE Online, creating like these stories. I was like, yes, that's exactly what I would like to do. I mean, as a DM, I think that'd be really fun. Yeah, right, Morty? I think it'd be a really fun idea. Like, create your own little campaigns, your own little stories that you can send other people on. And then, you know, you could also use it to help them intro different aspects of the game. So that's what I'm most excited about. I think that'll be great. The other thing I'm looking forward to is the changes they're making to T3Cs. There's a couple of things in particular. It was a little unclear from the keynote, but it sounded like they were going to be increasing the available power grid on all T3Cs. I think it was like 65 to 150 or something like that. Which I need to get the fitting window open. I need to run some numbers. But the problem I've always had with the Tengu on my overpropped fit is power. So if I can eke out one of those power rigs by getting a little bit of a bonus to the power grid, the overprop Tengu may start to become even more powerful and even more beneficial. So I really want to revamp my Tengu fits based off of that power change, which could be very interesting. The other thing is they're revamping all of the resists and the multi-spec shield hardeners and all that stuff. So all of the content in Wormhole Space and PvP, well, maybe not PvP, but at least all of the content in Wormhole Space, I think is going to get dramatically easier, which means I can re-look at all my fits again. So we can potentially get like a much more optimized fit for PvP/PvE based on those resist changes and the power changes. That's what I'm really excited about. It looked like most of those changes for T3Cs were focused on Logi. Like really trying to make, you know, logistics T3Cs better. And to be honest, I don't know a lot about T3C Logi. I don't really know a lot about Logi in general. I've only done it a very small amount. That's one of the aspects of the game that I'm probably the weakest in, is when it comes to Logi. But it looked very interesting to me to potentially be considering using T3Cs as Logi even more than they are now. And honestly, I don't really see them flying around as Logi ships hardly at all. So that'd be cool. That'll be really cool. So those are the big things I'm excited about with the Legion update. One of these streams, I think we're just going to spend a bunch of time in the fitting window and just theory craft, you know, before the patch drops, before the expansion drops, on what can we do with T3Cs. I mean, even all my ships, really, based off of those patch notes. I know, I'm curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are on the Legion drop, the Legion patch. I think some people were maybe a little bit disappointed in it, but the two new ships do look pretty spectacular. They're a little bit far out of my reach right now. And I don't know exactly what I'd use for them. In the future wars between the Children of the Chain Alliance and everybody else in known space, those Marauders are going to be sweet, though. But, I mean, how cool, too, does the Dread look? It looks really cool. Really cool looking. Let's see how broken it might be, or OP. Yeah, that's true. I think that the Marauder is going to be more likely to be broken and OP than the other ship, personally. I think there's also a bunch of changes to make into carriers, or at least fighters and carriers. That was one of the UI design discussions from a lot of people, was how to like make flying carriers better with some UI fixes there. Oh, one of the other things that we did while we were at FanFest. So I think it was Saturday morning. We were out super late on Friday night doing the pub crawl. And then way early on Saturday morning, we got invited to be a part of a working group. And they asked us a bunch of questions on mining. So I think CCP is really focusing on mining right now and trying to like reinvigorate and make mining a more enjoyable thing to do. Which I think kind of makes sense, right? Like the entire backbone of the entire economy and really the whole game is based on mining. So if nobody's out there mining, there aren't any ships. And then there aren't any ships to go and explode and have fun and do combat stuff with, right? So like really the miners are like the most important part of the game. So how do you encourage people to go and do mining and have fun doing mining? As you can see right now, I'm not even on the character that's mining. There's not a lot happening, right? It's kind of boring. What I suggested was mining to me feels a little bit strange in that it is only one layer deep. You go to rock or gas cloud, you target rock or gas cloud, you click button, and then that's it, right? Realistically. I mean, at least at its base level. Now, there's other things, too, that I factor into quote-unquote mining, like compression and, you know, boosting people and having all your storage and your transportation, and then that leads you into industry and doing it. Like, so there's there are other aspects of mining, but the act of mining is a little bit strange to me because it's, like, very uninvolved. And that can be a good thing and a bad thing. So what I recommended is, like, hey, what mining should, I think, in my mind, have is a multi-layered approach. Ideally, that is optional and buy-in. So when you go to start doing mining stuff, you can be more active and maybe you get a bonus from it. Like maybe you mine a little faster, or maybe you get a little bit more reward, or maybe you get like random rarer materials, something cool, by being a little bit more active. But if you want to just sit back and Netflix and chill while you're mining, then you can do that too. So the idea I had was like, what if when you're mining a rock, you have to turn on your laser, and then gets up to a critical spot where you then need to like stop your laser and start it, or you need to enable another laser or something else that then like gives you a bonus thing. Or maybe the rock that you're mining breaks up into multiple chunks if you and other people in your fleet do things in the right order and with the right combination and with the right timing, so that it can be just a little bit more involved in some way. I said, you know, the rat sites in J-Space are kind of cool because you have to pay attention. Like, you can't just go and shoot everything and there's no consequences. You have to have, like, there are triggers, and they're unique into the locations that they warp into, and like, or you're going and doing, you know, mission sites. There's like unique triggers there, or you have to go through different gates. Like there's a multi-layered things that you do in all those other activities except for mining. So that was kind of the feedback I had for them, was like, hey, hopefully it should be a little bit more involved, and have some reward by being involved, or you can choose to not to be involved and chill if you want to. The other thing I said was, for me personally, like, mining is very, it's not very clear to me why you would mine stuff. They asked, like, when was the last time you went mining and why did you do it? And I said, I went mining because I was in J-Space and there was a glass cloud there. I did it because it was there, and then I just sold the gas in Jita. I didn't know why I was doing it. I don't know what the gas is used for. Like, J-Space gas is valuable for something. I think it's like capital shipbuilding, maybe? But I don't really know. So I was like, mining should probably lead you to industry. Like, something about the mining UI and layout and what you're doing should educate you on why these things are valuable. And then kind of lead you into industry and PI and those things, so that you understand more why you're doing something and why certain things are more valuable than others. As a best gas for industry. Okay, yeah, so there you go. So, like, yeah, I mean, I know that it's rare because it's in J-Space. I do know it's valuable because I sell it for a lot of ISK. But as far as, like, why, I'm not really sure. But now I know it's good for industry, I guess. For certain parts of industry, I would imagine. But mining becomes bearable when you have enough hulks and compression on the field. Having to actually do something makes quite the difference for gameplay. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that was one of the things I said is like, to me, mining is more than just like click rock, hit like mining laser. It's like those sorts of things. But I think that for a new player, they don't understand that. I certainly didn't understand that until I started doing fleet mining streams with people. And it was like, hey, I'm going to go do a mining stream to learn mining because, you know, I wanted to learn everything there was to do in the game. So I did like a week of streaming where we were all just going to go mining. And then everybody in the stream was like, hey, can we come fleet up with you? And I was like, yes. And then I saw people were like using compression stuff and all their other modules and all these other cool things. I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. So I learned a lot more about it, and it was a lot more fun then. Solo miners have the biggest struggle unless they're multi-boxing. Yes, exactly. So we need something that kind of leads people to water. Or makes solo mining a lot of fun, because, I mean, EVE Online is an MMORPG, yes. It is an MMO. But tons and tons and tons of people, especially new players who are getting into the game, are probably going to spend a lot of their time solo, especially the new players. I mean, they're going to spend a lot of time solo. Even when they start to get into a corporation, they're probably going to spend a lot of that time solo. I'm a good example. Like, I do almost everything solo. I love the game because you guys are like my community. You guys are my corporation. You guys are the people that I hang out with, and that's a social aspect. But in-game, there's not as much happening. Yeah, I mean, we fleet up a lot. We do MPSI. We'll do a lot of stuff together. But the predominance of what I'm doing, especially roaming through J-Space, is solo. You know what I mean? So you really gotta get people to have fun doing whatever they're doing at any level of the game. We'll see. I bet later on this year there's going to be a bunch of patches or even maybe an expansion that focuses on mining stuff. Maybe not this year. They're going to probably have to do some pretty big implementation. So, I don't know, maybe next year? Look at these little cruisers chasing us around. I am excited to see what this year will bring, though. I'm curious as to where the expansions are going. What we need is a hauler freighter with a dedicated ore hold. Think Orca, but more specialized for hauling ore. Versus, like, just a generic mining hold. Because, like, right now, a lot of those things have mining holds that really only allows you to put ore or gas into, like my porpoise, for example. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, I see what you're saying. So a hauler or freighter with like a mining hold. Ah. Yeah. Doing like large transfer stuff. Yes, that would be cool. That would be really cool. Especially with the new freelance missions coming out. I bet a ton of freelance missions are going to be delivery missions. There's going to be lots of delivery missions, I bet. For freelance stuff. Ships with commodity holds, ones with POS holds, but nothing with ore. Yes, that would be cool. That would be cool. I can, like, see the fleet on grid now on, like, an asteroid belt. Where you've got, like, all of your big miner ships, like orcas and porpoises and, what are those other giant mining ships that have, like, compression and, like, all of the other, like, booster modules and all that kind of stuff. And then all the little miners out there getting all the rocks. And then you've got these, like, wave after wave of, like, haulers and and these giant freighter ships that are coming in for this big mining operation. The Rorqual, yeah, that one. That would be really cool to see. That'd be cool. You can haul a lot of compressed ore, that's true. But it would be kind of neat to see some uncompressed stuff, or even just be able to haul more compressed ore. It would allow you to do, I guess it would allow you to do like multi-type deliveries of items, right? Or transportation of items. So you could do ore in this hold, you could do other stuff in this other hold, other stuff in this other hold, and kind of have them more specialized and be able to do a lot of other things. Requires a ship module and fuel to do. Yeah, exactly. Be nice if an Orca could take a Sino gate. That would be cool. That would be really cool. Nice little quiet wormhole today, I guess. Well, tell you what, guys. We're getting towards the end of our stream. This has been a lot of fun talking about FanFest and Legion and, I mean, all that stuff. It feels really good to be jumping back into EVE Online. Unfortunately, it took us a long time to, like, get everything going again since there were so many updates to OBS and EVE and all the other things, too. So we got a late start today, but hopefully we can get back into another good schedule. I think we're probably going to change our schedule from Saturday and Sunday where we normally do our streams. Normally we're doing that at like 11 o'clock Pacific time. I think I might shift that a little bit more into the afternoon so that it's just a little bit more stable based off of what work's going on, a little bit more repeatable. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to stream next weekend. We're gonna be traveling, but hopefully we can start to stream the week after that. Maybe we'll get a stream in or later this week during the week. We'll see how work goes. Right now, we're still in tough times, really tough times for work, unfortunately. So hopefully we can see some of that stuff in the future as we go forward. But it has been a ton of fun jumping back into EVE Online. Man, I wish I'd been on stream or recording when I ramped up those 3 kills last night. That would have been really cool. Still super fun though. I'm still super happy that we did that. I'm excited to bring in a 5th member of our little Nomad team. That'll be good. But with that, I'm going to find somebody for us to raid. And then I need to go and I'm going to grab some food. And I'm going to keep on working on our wormhole survival guide on YouTube. I can't decide if I want to do one 4-hour-long video, which is kind of what it's at right now, or if I want to break it up into parts, do like 4 1-hour-long videos, or do a section on each little thing. So I'm not exactly sure how I want to handle that yet. My initial reaction is to just do one big video that's like a one-stop shop for everything, and then have a bunch of, bookmarks, if you will, or chapters that you can go and navigate to while you're watching the video to answer specific questions. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I still have a ton of editing to do. I was doing a bunch of it last night, and there's just so much editing to do. I mean, we recorded that in December, and it's been a lot. But Boogal, what's going on? Good to see you as well. Welcome. You're catching us kind of at the end of our stream, unfortunately. YOLO is here. What's going on, YOLO? Long time no see. We spent the whole day talking about FanFest and the Legion expansion, which I'm excited for. FanFest was so much fun. I can't wait for next year to go again. Anyway, let me find somebody for us to raid out to. And then hopefully we'll see you guys all. Like I said, not this weekend, but in the future. Haircut, a little bit, yeah. Probably need to get another one coming up here in the future. I think I kind of want to grow my hair out like Switch Hit. Like super long. That'd be really fun, I think. But oh, that reminds me. Guys, keep your eyes open on the CCP EVE channel. Hopefully next week sometime, they'll drop our presentation that we gave while we were there. As soon as I see it drop, I'll let you guys know. I don't know exactly when it's going to be dropping, but they're starting to roll all of the different panels and keynotes and all that kind of stuff out on their channel. So hopefully you guys can catch that. They said they were going to record it all and have it on YouTube for us. So I'm excited to watch it too and see what it would look like from other people's perspective. Because, you know, I feel like I missed a lot of things, made a lot of mistakes during my little presentation. But overall, I think I hit pretty much everything I wanted to. Yeah, go next year, Booga. It'll be so much fun. It's so much fun. All right, let's see. Da, 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 da. Who should we go and check out? Who have we? I mean, we haven't rated anybody in a while. Okay. I think I got a good spot for us. We'll go say hello to everybody. So with that, we're going to head on out. You all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And remember, fly dangerous out there.
Jump as soon as you hit grid. Last jump for the scouting party. Then we got to scout the wormhole.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Welcome. Whoa. Let's go! Yeah! Hold. Hold. All right, here's the plan. We're going to try to burn out of this thing as fast as we can. Come on! Yes! Oh! We made it, everybody. We made it. Oh, shit! Let's go! Ha ha ha!
All wings engage missile target.
Perfect. All right, and the DSC's on the way. We made it. Boojum. As soon as I hit grid, I'll let you know. You can work to me. Boojum. Boojum. Not an Boojum, but Boojum. That was fun. That was really fun.